start. Hi Meenu, hi Archana, hi Vijaya, Bela, Anu. Hi. So welcome again to yet another Indo-Indians online event. And this time we have a very popular topic, intermittent fasting. And we're very grateful to Geeta Seth to come online with us and share her knowledge as a nutritionist, and Jyoti to be our facilitator, and help us guide this conversation in the right direction. And we will also be asking for sharing. We want you to share your experience if you have done intermittent fasting and how that experience has been for you. But at this moment, we will put everybody on mute except for Geeta and Jyoti. And then going forward, as and when there's periods of question and answer, you can always unmute yourself and ask a question. If you'd like to raise a hand, there is a facility on your Zoom call where it allows you to raise a hand, and I can see who has raised a hand, and then we can take your questions. You can also type your questions in the chat and we can read it out so everybody knows what the question is. Yeah, so those are the basic ground rules. So thank you again and welcome to the Indo-Indians online event on intermittent fasting and does it really work? So just to introduce Geeta very briefly, Geeta is a qualified nutritionist and dietitian for the past 15 years, and she's a 2 times gold medalist in the field of nutrition. She is also a qualified diabetes educator and a diabetes pump trainer, specializing in the field of diabetes. So, we are talking to the right person when it comes to talking about nutrition and how all this fasting affects our blood levels. So thank you again, Geeta. Over to you, Jyoti and Geeta.
Thank you, Poonam. Thank you so much. Geeta, lovely to have you back on this session.
Thank you so much. Now it's like a family.
And you've been
I keep coming very often, it looks.
I think it's a popular demand. We just have another demand for the next show already. Well, coming to intermittent fasting, the moment you put intermittent on Google, the whole page talks about intermittent, OMAD, and different kinds of intermittent. From the ratio of 12 to 6 to 18 to 20 to 24 to 1 meal a day and stuff like that. So there is just so much written and spoken about intermittent. Sadhguru has a different opinion. So a lot of things are said by different people, which are followed by various people. So first of all, what is intermittent fasting? And then we'll come on to what are the different kinds. And then, do you think that works well for you?
You want me to answer?
Yes. Yes. What is intermittent fasting?
What is intermittent?
Okay. So now, well, this topic, intermittent fasting, is quite new compared to our medical history. So people are still digesting this, that what is intermittent fasting. And yes, there are so many YouTube videos and so much of knowledge on Google. So what I have done is that this is one of the most famous journals, medical journals in the world, and that is the New England Journal of Medicine.
Okay.
This journal only puts those facts which are actual facts. Like you just cannot put. So this goes all over the world, and I follow that for all my medical things. So there's nothing which will be common with the Google here. I mean, if it is generally known to everyone. So this is a very, very authentic study, what I'm going to tell you about. And it is actually very, very workable. But no doubt, it's still difficult to digest. Because from our grandmothers to our mothers, everybody has told us that you must at least have 3 large meals in a day. You must have 2 snacks. And only then your things will go okay. So, okay. So now let's start simple, a general body function. As well, you all know this well, but I'll just repeat it for more clarity. When we eat food, the food goes in the stomach. It takes around, if you take a heavy meal like a lunch, dinner, then it takes 3 hours around. And the last product, which is glucose, it goes in the blood. When it goes in the blood, the cells absorb the glucose with the help of insulin. Pancreas has to work on that. Yeah. And then your food is digested. Then whatever has to be excreted is excreted. And of course, as I had told you before also, that if you put lots of antioxidants in your diet, then your skin, hair, everything is better.
Yeah.
Now this is the general thing. And we have all known about low calorie diets, like how we tell you that, okay, 1000 calories is good for you, 1200 is good for you, 1400 is good for you, little high protein is better, or less carbs are better, more fiber is better. There are so many talks about these different types of diets. Now, intermittent fasting, what is it? Let's talk the base. The most common and the most well-known is 16-8.
Yes.
Yeah, so there is a 8-hour window where you can eat anything and everything, and there's a 16-hour window, where you just don't eat anything at all. So what happens? For example, I just stopped eating. It is 4 o'clock and I stopped eating for next 16 hours. What will happen to my body? Nothing is going inside except liquids. As you all know that with intermittent fastings, liquids worth calories 30, 40 are allowed. People even allow teas. People even have warm water. And they can have any kind of water, but no solid at all.
Yeah.
So the moment I stop eating, never mind. I have my liver. Liver has glycogen stores. Another 2 hours, 3 hours, all the sugar in my blood will finish. Okay. Why? Because we are doing our basal metabolic rate is there. We have a base energy required by our heart, by kidney, by lungs, by brain, by everything. They require around 1000 calories in 24 hours to live on them. That's why we tell you, that, okay, be on a 1200 calorie diet, you lose weight. Why? Because most of it goes inside your body and does all these internal functions which you are not even aware of it, and you don't have any control on it.
Correct.
So another 2-3 hours, depends upon how much carbs I have eaten, the carbs in my blood will finish. Then there goes a message to the liver that, hello, there is no more glucose. How should I run the body? And especially the brain. So liver says, absolutely, it's okay. He has this glycogen stores. It's a storehouse of glucose, as you all know.
Yes.
It starts giving its glucose to the body, and the body is going on well. No problem. 8 hours of fasting. Another 8 hours of fasting, the glycogen in the liver finishes. Now, what will the body do? The body has to survive. We cannot die. So then the ketogenic activity starts. Somebody is saying can't hear?
Can't hear. Sonali Maheshwari say can't hear.
Okay. So the ketogenic process starts. Means now the body is going to ask for energy from within the cells, but it has got no glucose, nobody's eating anything. So what are the stores? The stores are the fat cells. These fat cells, they open up, the triglycerides in the they open up, and the fatty acids come out in the form of glycerol and fatty acids. Then they start going to the whole body and giving them little energy, whatever you want. This kind of ketogenic thing, it takes around 10 to 12 hours to really start. Yes, now the body is depending only on the fat which is there inside always. That is how you lose weight. So when you finish up your 16 hours, the body is full-fledged remembering and doing only work because of the proteins, because of the fats in the body. It does nothing else. It keeps on doing. So I'll be telling you the benefits of this. Well, the main benefit, what it is famous for, is because of course, weight loss. That is one thing which has really, but it has got many other things. So now, as you've heard that so many of us have fatty liver. That is non-alcoholic fatty liver. If you go to the doctor and if you're a little obese, your doctor will tell you, no, I think you have a fatty liver after the few tests, SGPT, SGOT, but whatever they do. So the moment you stop eating, your body is it does not get anything at all. So then what happens? The extra fats which are lying in the liver, they will start coming out to help the body get all the nutrients. When it starts coming out, so within 4 to 6 weeks, your liver starts repairing itself. How nice is that? Yeah. Believe me, if I have 10 people, I know nearly 2 have maybe fatty liver or fatty liver kind of a thing, which later, if you don't take care of, then of course, then liver cirrhosis and all that, we'll not talk about that. But your liver starts repairing. And as you know, the liver, if you put it outside your body and you open it, you can make 500 factories. 500 factories, 24/7, the body's going on. Imagine how intelligent our body is. So the first thing is that your liver will get detoxified, although we give so many foods and so many waters to detoxify your liver, agreed. But this is a very natural detoxification. So have you ever seen that uh, hundreds of years back, how the Rishi Munis, how did they survive? I'll tell you. They go to the jungle, they find food, and then they get the food, whether they can cook it or not cook it, they eat it. So a very short span of time is spent on looking for food and eating the food. Rest of the time they don't eat at all because there is no food available. You know, going to a jungle, getting, if you see those old stories, they saw those mangoes there, then they saw these and this, all these things, you know. So why still they survived? Why didn't they die? If it is only about talking about all this, that we should have food to live, they still survived. And as we know, the great Gautam Buddha, he got enlightenment without food. If you all know the story. So the truth is there. The truth is definitely there when you talk about fasting. Okay, the first thing I told you about is how your liver, it comes to the normal levels. Like suppose if you have your high SGPT, SGOT, after you have intermittent fasting, you can again recheck it for yourself. It is like, it's not a, I mean, you can see it for yourself that how it works. And then secondly, as you all know that I specialize in diabetes also. So I'll be just clarifying this also, that the moment you eat some food, the body immediately calculates. That's why there are 3 million of neurons in the brain working throughout, because it gets a message, this much carb is coming, and the body calculates it, and the body sends a message to the brain to tell the pancreas to release insulin. This is what it happens. So when we eat 3 major meals and 2 or 3 small meals before sleeping, also we want to have a cup of milk, or we want to have some 2 spoons of desserts, whatever. Now what is happening, the body is constantly getting glucose through sugary products, through complex carbs, or to simple, whatever, from milk or lactose, any kind of sugars, the body is all the time getting. Even so many of us have fruits also, like dessert. So from fructose, that means your pancreas is constantly working. It gets message every 1 hour, 2 hour. Oh, this one has eaten halwa. Oh, now this one has eaten this. So the pancreas has no other choice. It has to release insulin, little more, little more. If you have eaten a lot, it has to do it more. Finally, the pancreas do get tired. Then, you know, they just sit like this and then they give the insulin. But that insulin is not effective because there is no quality insulin. It is all the time we are bent upon eating all the time. No, I must eat, I must eat. So then you can say the insulin resistance. Many of us have it, many of us, which is this metabolic syndrome, where your insulin comes out, but it is not as effective. So what happens during intermittent fasting? Your digestive system is shut. It's totally shut because water has nothing to do with that. Pancreas is totally gone at ease. It has no work. It has no work at all. So then what happens? The pancreas start rejuvenating. The cells of pancreas, in fact, the claims are now here. I mean, still the study is still new. The claims are here that even all the beta and alpha cells of the pancreas, they can start again releasing. Now, this is just, I'm talking about the study. I'm not making any claim here that it is even possible this way. So once the insulin is in line, once the insulin is good, then all your metabolic other disorders start coming okay. Now, there was a study in this New England Journal of Medicine that there were people who were put on the 16-8 diet of intermittent fasting, and there were ladies who were put on a diet with very less calorie, maybe 1000 calories per day. Okay. In 6 months, they both lost equal amount of weight, but the people who were on intermittent fasting, their insulin sensitivity increased. When your insulin sensitivity increases, then your metabolism automatically works better than the other person. And the waist circumference also, it was better with the people who were doing intermittent fasting. So another very big benefit is that your body has no insulin resistance. The insulin quality is very good. And secondly, you don't have any kind of pre-diabetic, post-diabetic, type 2 diabetes is not there. So this is one very big major effect of doing
Something like,
intermittent fasting.
would you
Now,
recommend?
the third thing is that your liver also has cholesterol, as you know, triglycerides are there. And where is the cholesterol? When I eat something now, something which is fried, what will happen? The cholesterol from that fried food will keep circulating in the blood. That's why when you go for your check and you say, oh, I have got high triglycerides, high cholesterol, because you're eating like that all the time, isn't it? So this process again stops. When you're not eating for 16 hours, this process totally stops, and all your lipid profile starts getting in line. It starts getting in the proper level. Only because neither now the fat is getting stored. Now whatever fat is there around, it is being used for storing for the energy we want. So when we get these three big benefits from intermittent fasting, believe me, many of our problems are solved. Like as they say, all the medical deaths, 30% of all the medical deaths are due to heart problem.
Yeah, in fact, speaking of that, Geeta, I also have a cardiologist online, and maybe he can also share his viewpoints on intermittent
Yeah,
fasting.
yeah,
And
sure.
so we have Dr. Rajnikant Rajgopal. Hi, Dr. Rajnikant, can
Hi,
you
madam.
unmute yourself? Hi. How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me? You can hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Excellent, excellent. No, I've been listening to Geeta Seth's talk. Very good. So the NEJM article you're talking about, is that the one from December last year? Rafael Cabo.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
No, the speaker was mentioning an article from the New England Journal of Medicine.
Yes.
Is that the one from last December?
Geeta, is it from December 2019, the article that you were talking about?
Sorry?
Is your article from December 2019?
By Cabo and two other authors.
I'll just see it.
Yes, right. No, but it probably is, because a lot of things seem to be in common with what they have mentioned. I myself do not recommend, as I was telling Poonam, I don't recommend intermittent fasting to my patients, because it has not gone through all the studies, and we need what we call evidence-based medicine. So they have to conduct trials where they they have hundreds or thousands of patients tried on fasting and no fasting. And they have to find the benefits and lack of any adverse effects before we can officially prescribe this as a treatment. But the evidence is very good at the moment. Whatever's coming through is good. And I think the best article I've read is the one that I think Geeta mentioned in the New England Journal of Medicine. All the points she has made are very valid. I think there is weight loss and there is reduced insulin resistance. I think it's really important. And all the action happens through the breakdown of fat into what we call ketone bodies, and they go and do a lot of good things. There's a metabolic switch. The body's metabolism switches from a glucose metabolism to a fatty acid metabolism, and that's helpful in many ways. So yeah, no, I look forward to hearing the rest of it, and I'm happy to answer any questions from anybody.
So Raj, you mentioned that you have tried intermittent fasting as well.
When did I mention that? I have, but in a very, doctors make the worst patients. And we are not good at anything, very poorly compliant. So I have tried intermittent fasting, but I didn't keep to it. So I had a friend of mine, a French guy living in Brunei. I told him about it exactly on Diwali day. He had dinner with me in my place, and I told him about this intermittent fasting. The next time I met him was end of January, and he said, "Oh, Raj, I've been doing this for the last 3 months. I lost 7 kilos." I felt like a fool. I said, "Why didn't I do this?" And I did start doing it straight away after that. But because of my work habits, I did it for a couple of weeks and then gave up, and I'm doing it again on and off. And of course, I'm sure Geeta will tell you there are different, can you hear me? Because I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
good. There are different kinds of intermittent fasting. The one I've been trying is 14 or 16 hours fast and eating for 8 hours or something like that. I just need to get into a habit. And I think one of the keys is if sleep is an important part of intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel I shouldn't be talking about myself, but in my own personal experience, any day that I wake up having not slept well the previous night, I cannot keep up my fast. I end up eating breakfast.
Right.
And if I've had a good night's sleep, and I think it's intermittent fast is part of a package. I think we have to be active, we have to be healthy, and along with that, we do intermittent fasting. And what the NEJM article says is, if you're a healthy person, you're an active person, you're doing things. If you're fasting at the same time, everything pays more dividends. Your exercise, your endurance goes up. You can do more exercise, and the exercise brings you more health if you're fasting at the same time. So I think it's a package. If you can do the whole thing together, it's great. I'm still going to try it. But again, as a doc, that's as a person. As a doctor, I don't think we have enough evidence. We don't have enough big trials which can let us prescribe it officially to our patients. I can't tell them now, you should try intermittent fasting. But if they tell me I'm doing this, I say, very good, give it up. That's where I am now.
Yeah, thanks, Raj. Thanks for sharing.
No worries. I will leave it to Geeta now.
So, Geeta, the next question is, can we eat anything and everything when we are fasting?
This should be doing.
So can I just complete first?
Of course. Please go ahead.
So that we can come to this.
Very nice that Dr. Rajnikant says whatever you said in terms of how it benefits your liver, your heart, your pancreas, he is in sync with what you've mentioned. So
absolutely.
Because I just checked the date. He's talking about the same journal. It's in December 2019. So I think we both are talking about the same thing. That's nice.
Right.
And you both are on the same platform that it rejuvenates your internal systems.
Okay, so what happens that during when we are fasting all the time on 16 this 8. Okay, then what happens? There is a hormone for the brain which actually only comes up when the food is into ketones. When you are having this the protein, when the repair is going on in the body, that time the BDNF, this hormone increases, and it actually is capable of giving you more mental clarity. So why it is said that there is no mental clogging after a upvas. How you have seen those elderly people, they only eat in a very short span of window, and the rest, the 16 hours, actually they were as good as doing this 16-hour fasting. When it is not called this intermittent fasting also, they did this, and then the results what they got is they were more intelligent. Why? Because the study says that yes, there is a possibility of new neurons to come there. So in that, a person can always say that yes, he has gone more intelligent. After fasting, you feel, oh, I can think this better, I can do this better. It is only because of this that there's a function in the brain which happens, and which makes maybe the neurons can come up in a new way, and you can be called more intelligent.
Yeah.
Now,
So
what doctor?
Here, speaking of how you have better clarity, maybe if you allow me, I can share 2 minutes what Sadhguru says about this.
Yeah, sure.
Mental clarity. So, I like to share a small video clip of Sadhguru talking about this very thing that Geeta shared. And I hope everybody can see my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wait, let me play the.
So Sadhguru is eating one meal a day, which is also called the OMAD, which is again,
That's true.
So once we finish, we'll come back to that conversation also.
$1 billion to come there. Because research is all about how many $1 million. That's how it is. Your body and your brain works at its best only when your stomach is empty. So we always make sure we eat in such a way, how much ever we eat, our stomach must be always empty within 2 to 2.5 hours time maximum. So we go to bed hungry always. People think they cannot sleep. They can't sleep. On an average, for 25 years on an average, I slept only 2.5 to 3 hours. These days I'm getting little lazy and sleeping anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 hours, in spite of the level of travel that I have. When I say level of travel, if I say my level of travel in the next few days, you will call up to check. Yes? Should I tell you? No. Because in the next 10 days, I'm in 5 different countries doing, I don't know how many events, all kinds of events. So, you're able to keep this up simply because you don't overeat. Very, very important. Everybody eats 2 meals. I generally eat only 1 meal, 4:35 in the evening, because I don't like to sit in front of the plate and worry about how much to eat. I like to eat well. So 4:35 in the evening, if I eat a meal, it's only next day. Is this enough? Am I looking okay? Hello? I'm not looking like your patient, isn't it? I'm not going to come to you. Because any correction and purification that needs to happen in the body, your stomach needs to be empty. It's very, very important. Otherwise, the purification on the cellular level will not happen. You pile up things and then you have all kinds of problems. The first thing is inertia in the body. Inertia means there are many levels of inertia if you don't notice all that. The level that you have is inertia. All of you have come here to live or live. Not here, I'm saying into this life. You want to live or the intention of life is to live, isn't it? But because you talked about American doctors, this is all being picked up here also. All American doctors say minimum 7 to 8 hours you must sleep. So that means 1/3 of your life you must sleep.
So I'm going to stop it right here.
So that means 1/3 of your life you must sleep. Another 2, 3 hours, 4 hours goes in bath, toilet, eating, this, you know.
So I'm stopping that there, but he made the same point that you made, Geeta, that only when your stomach is empty can you think more clearly.
So yeah, so now these new findings, which is always, which is going on, the trials are going on, but they have had many successful trials, is that when you fast, the autophagy, that means when the body eats its cells, the cells which are not 100% okay, the cells which are not working well, do you know they are lying in our body? They can keep lying in our body, but this process of cleaning up that cells increases 100%. So what happens when you are done with all this, then there's a new you. That means the protein which are now going to get synthesized are going to be of better quality, because that low quality cells and protein cells, they have been all now eaten by the body itself. So in a way, you are actually renewing your body. And at the same time, as I told you, that the neurons, there are new neurons when during this process, because as I told you, the BDNF, this hormone, and in fact the ghrelin hormone also, the hunger hormone, which tells you that you're hungry. How we do this, that, I want to eat this, I want to eat that. Maybe I'm hungry, I'm not, I don't know, you're not clear. Why? Because the body is clogged with the food all the time. So that is also, you get the clarity after you do these fastings, so that, you understand that, oh, this is the right time to eat, or this is not the right time to eat. So this is a
intermittent. When you speak to them, you say, we don't feel hungry anymore.
This is true that, this is true that the first day and the second day, some people develop acidity, of course. But after 2 days, it starts getting all fine. There is no such problem. Now, these studies are having, another very important thing, what happens is your gut healing takes place. Now, if you have eaten the food, it goes through the digestive tract and the small intestine, it goes there. Do you know about leaky gut? Leaky gut means when all what you have eaten is not digested fully, and it goes out of those walls to the body, which is of course then treated like a foreign substance, and then you have allergies also, and then you say that, okay, I'm lactose intolerant or this intolerant. It is sometimes people have leaky gut, so the carbohydrates also don't get metabolized properly. It stops this. Such a big thing is this, that when you do this fasting, the leaky guts get repaired, and when you again eat, then your all the food gets well digested. And like, you can say that it's like a sponge. These how you put a dry sponge somewhere in a wet place, and it sucks all the water. Same way our cells. So what I feel is that in these 8-hour window, when you have to eat, you must eat quality food. You must not be on junk, because now whatever you are giving to the body will get it. The body is going to get it, and it's going to take it. So the best way, I mean, the most popular way is 16-8. So 16 hours when we fast, after that you can break your fast and you can eat all good foods.
What do you recommend? Because somebody just asked a question that I do intermittent, and after that, the first thing I do is take a cup of coffee. Is that okay? So if
I
you're
don't
doing,
think so.
okay,
I
so
don't
would
think
you
so.
share also that, okay, if you're doing a 16-hour, you begin like this, and this is what you should ideally be eating in 8 hours.
Ideally, you should break your fast with some carb, with
Okay.
some kind of carb. You can have, I mean, fruit, dry fruit. But see, already the body's, already the stomach is an acidic condition, right? So if you're going to have tea or coffee, it's going to increase the acidity. So I will not suggest that,
Okay.
though people do take what they like. And it also, intermittent fasting should be done under some supervision.
Correct.
Like, not everybody, I would say, this is because this study is still going on with the trials. There are so many clinical trials going on. As I told you in this, the New England Journal of Medicine, it has got those correct informations where many successful trials have been there. And in fact, they have done this on the mice also, and that they were fed for a very short time, and that is called the warrior diet. You have a very small window where you eat and just eat, and rest of the time you're fasting. So while you're fasting, according to these, you are getting more intelligent. Then all the cells which are dead or nearly dead of not good quality are also getting away from your body. So you are regenerating new cells. That means it is as good as making your own self into something new and better. And see, now these studies are going on that on so many things, on arthritis, on multiple sclerosis, on diabetes, all these things the study says that they will get better, because one more thing, when you eat lots, when you eat carbohydrates, there's something body inflammation, as you know, the inflammation inside our body is there, which does not let us live nicely. And because of this inflammation, there are so many problems in the body which goes on, and then you keep taking different kind of medicines. This inflammation automatically stops. How you say that you are, clearing a clogged place which has got all that, where you have to clear it up. So it is just a very good way to clear your system, so that you can again restart your system well and do this. Now,
All the more
if you talk,
reason that once you open that window to eat, you have to be more careful and watchful, because you're trying to rejuvenate your system.
yes, so you must eat quality food. You should not get into junk food. You should have, as last time I told you, the good antioxidants we have. We must have all these things, so that now when the sorry.
Sorry, you were saying that you should
Okay.
try and start with carbs or nuts.
Sorry.
You mentioned that once you come back to your eating window, instead of a tea, coffee, you recommend you start your day with nuts.
Yes. Maybe you can start with some dry fruit, figs, or something, but not tea, coffee. And then you can, in those 8 hours, you can eat all the healthy stuff you want, because now remember that this is going to repair your body. That 16 hours window where the body is getting clear of all the bad cells and all these things, where the pancreas is now going to work well, and where the liver is going to work well, the brain neurons are going to work well. They say that you might have new neurons also. The studies are still going on, but yes, you have definitely a clear thinking. You're not clogged. But otherwise, you have seen that when you overeat, how so many people say that, oh, after eating, don't talk to me. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about the calculations. Don't talk about the next plan, because we are already clogged. So that means we must give ourselves the space where we can think clearly, and we can have better learning processes also.
Hi, Geeta. If I may share with you, I have been on intermittent fasting for almost a month, and I feel rejuvenated, re-energized, more fit, and my stubborn belly has somewhat decreased.
Lovely.
So there she answers.
Thank you, Karishma, for sharing.
That's great, Karishma, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I feel fantastic, and I am not craving for any sugar or fried food. I just feel great.
Are you doing a 16-hour, 14, 20?
I started with 14, 16. Now I'm on 18/6.
Oh, great.
In fact,
So
we
there
also
you
have Ravina Nathani. Ravina, can you unmute and show us your video? Because she does 24 and she's been doing fasting for quite a long time. Ravina, I think you're online.
Okay. I have been doing a fast. First, I started with 16, then 18. It went to 20, 24. Then I did a 36-hour diet. It's very good. Like how Karishma said, that you feel so fit and nice, and then you feel that you are shrinking everywhere. Your hands, your belly, your thighs. So it's really nice, and you feel fit, and you can even run faster. You can do the exercises better.
Wow. That's good to know, Ravina. I think Rimi is raising her hand. Yes, Rimi, what would you like to share? Rimi?
Okay.
Yeah.
I have been doing intermittent fasting pretty much for at least 10 years. You know, one meal a day, one cooked meal a day, and the whole window is 10 hours of fruits, coconut water, and that one cooked meal, and 14 hours of fasting for at least 10 years now. But I have also done one meal in 24 hours, just one meal every 24 hours for 108 days.
Wow.
Absolutely fabulous. I looked, according to people, amazing. There was some radiance, which of course I couldn't see, but everybody else seemed to notice it. And lots of energy. Also, I've done one meal a day while I was still working at GIS. I was working full time, and I was eating only a lunch at school. And that was it. Every 24 hours, I ate one meal, and I've done that for like a month at a time, several times. And loads of Jain fasting, which is like eating nothing for 8 days, like absolutely nothing for 8 days, just water. And I'm here to tell, survived all of that. And I've done it like, 10, 11 times. So like 8, 9 days at a time, many times. But
right.
The Jain philosophy, which is thousands of years old, prescribed that one should only eat one meal a day. That is the prescription. And all our nanis, dadis have actually done it. They stop eating at sunset and don't start until 2 hours after sunrise. So they've been doing this intermittent all their lives, and thousands of people still do it. And it was really surprising that this guy who did the research got the Nobel Prize for it, for autophagy. And this is something that is practiced by the Jains for thousands and thousands of years. So it's tested and tried. Follow a Jain community of the strict Jains like Gujaratis or Marwadis, and you'll find thousands of people who are still practicing regularly without making a big fuss out of it. And they are very healthy.
That's why it's called research, Rimi. We are looking at it again. We are looking for whatever is already there.
Yeah, but not looking at the right places where it's already going on. And, just trying to reinvent the wheel. But anyway,
look outside our own culture. We appreciate coffee, turmeric latte rather than haldi ka doodh.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You know, we have to look in the right places, but it's already being practiced for thousands of years, not, you know, 50 years or 100 years.
Part of Indian mythology for years. Fasting has been in different kinds of fasting has been part of Indian mythology forever and ever.
Yeah.
So it's been in our culture. It's just that we are revisiting it.
Yes.
Well, thank you for giving me a chance to speak.
Thank you for sharing, Rimi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Back to
So
you,
now coming to this, that as you know that the 8 hours, when during those 8 hours, the body gets all the energy from glucose, which is from your food. So that means the body is living on glucose. The rest 16 hours, the body lives on a different, it does not live on glucose. As I told you, the glucose finishes in time. So now this body is switching metabolism. Once it has to be on the glucose, once it has to be on the body fats and proteins. So this switching of metabolism is going to give you a nice, it's going to make you survive well, and then you're ready for other things. Because now I'm living on, like, it's like a car, if you can put petrol, it runs. If again you put diesel, it runs. How can it happen? It doesn't happen. But with the body, it happens. That our source is different from just when we are eating, and our source is different when we are not eating. So this creates a very good immunity in our body. That means if there is going to be any other kind of ailment which our body is going to face, the body will deal with it. The body is learning to deal with it. Why? Only because the body can now live on fats also, which are stored in the body, and now the body can live on the glucose also, which you are eating day and night. Whoever has just now spoken about intermittent fasting, I'm sure none of you felt that, oh, I'll die without food. It doesn't happen like that. Because actually the body does not live on the, now what happens in the food industry, the availability of food is so much that convincing this, like as in the journal it's written that there should be times when doctors should prescribe fasting. That doctors cannot, because we are not ready for it. We don't know. Our parents did not teach us this. We were always taught that when you go to the school, first you should have a good breakfast, then you should have nice lunch, then you should have dinner, and before sleeping, if you eat or drink this, it's better. No, it doesn't do like that. With fasting, when you're fasting, actually you're feasting yourself. Feasting means giving energy to all your body cells, even the cancer cells, that they don't get encouraged when you are fasting, during the fasting times. As I told you, the body gets a habit of the autophagy, like it starts eating all the unwanted cells, all the cells which are not working well. Even the 50%, 40%, 30% remains, but the cells are in the body. But due to fasting, these cells are also eaten up and thrown away. So how nice is that when you do this fasting, you can get everything you want. Anyway, there are so many other things, that the blood sugars drop, and then obesity goes away, so there's no heart problem.
Interrupt
and
here.
then
So Geeta, Jyoti has some questions for you.
Yeah, sure.
There was a queue of questions which was coming on the chat, and besides this, if you can enlighten, because there are lots of myths which go with intermittent. You know, should we do it continuously? Should we do it twice a week, alternate days? How many hours?
Now this is a newer concept.
Yes.
So what I would really suggest is that you should have somebody with you, maybe somebody from the medical field who can guide you. Suppose if one person who's asking me has a issue of, suppose, blood sugar,
Correct.
and then he has to take metformin, or he has to take insulin or whatever. So we must do it under medical supervision right away. Anyway, the safest is 5-2. That means 5 days a week you eat, and 2 days you are going to fast. So this is less, it has got no risks at all. Doing a 16-8 fasting, I know, as people have done it for once in 24 hours also, you're eating, that's fine. But you just take care that what medical conditions you have, and then you can do it. There are so many types of this. Most common is 16-8. In 8 hours you eat whatever you like, and 16 hours you have to fast. Then 5-2 has 5 days a week you can eat, and in those 2 days you eat less calories along with the fasting. And then there is a warrior diet, which is not so common still. You have a very short span of window where you can eat as much you like, and rest you remain, you don't have anything else. This, in any case, fasting twice a week also is extremely beneficial. You can do it easily, and And if you have no medical conditions, as I told you, then it's really comfortable. And with fasting, you're going to get only good results. As you know that all our ancestors and everybody, they did only fasting many a times, and they used to eat only as somebody just now told that after sunrise and before sunset, the eating pattern was finished. So we did not have so many problems, health issues. All our health issues these days are because of availability of food.
Correct. There's
Dry
another
fasting,
question.
I don't think so I will recommend dry fasting because it's without water. It is not as popular also, but dry fasting, I think we should not. I'm not in. I don't know much about it, but dry fasting is not good, I'm sure,
What are
because
the
we must have
fluids,
water.
what are the fluids that you recommend between the fasting times? So what all? Because sometimes people say coconut water is okay, some says coconut water
Yeah,
is not
I can
good.
read it here like
What?
somebody saying fennel seeds. Now these see fennel seeds, then cumin seeds, then any other kind of seeds, water is generally good for our health because they have got a lot of antioxidants. And they are very, even I recommend these kind of waters after meals and the powders after meals, I recommend them. I will think that during this fasting time, you should have only water.
Plain water.
I would prefer that, yeah.
Okay.
Although there are people who take green teas, who take these kind of waters also, but I would recommend this. And since this is Sangeeta, Kavita's your sister, right?
Yeah.
So you must see that how the medical condition is there, and then go for this fasting. I wouldn't say that after listening to me, everybody should go on a 16/8 fast. No, not at all, because then you have your own risks also. You
No,
should
it
see
has
how
to
it goes on.
Somebody is asking morning chai with milk is allowed while fasting. A lot of people do black coffee with no sugar. You need your
Actually, tea and coffee, they increase the acidity which is already there in your stomach.
correct.
So when you are fasting, the stomach is acidic already. This is another thing that after a couple of days, you start feeling comfortable and you're fine. No, as she's asking lemon water. See, I would recommend water, but if you take lemon water on these things, maybe. I don't have a big say on lemon water, but not tea and coffee.
Okay.
Why not just have plain water all the time?
Yeah. Yeah. Hydrate yourself.
Yes, you must keep hydrated for sure.
Yeah.
Just a drop
So
of lemon oil in water. That's okay. See, now there can be many things which can be done,
yeah.
this water, that water. It can be done, but I would suggest plain water all the time if
Geeta,
you're fasting,
have
because
you,
let your body really fast. No, let it fast. Let it not do have any other works.
Geeta, have you heard of this bullet coffee?
Yes.
The bulletproof coffee.
Bullet coffee. So I got a friend of mine, he's an anesthetist in the UK.
Yeah.
He lost about 12 kilos, I think, during the intermittent fasting. Quite intense. And he used to drink bullet coffee every day. Sounds disgusting, but he tells me it tastes
I
good.
read it in the journal also. It's there,
Yeah.
the bullet coffee.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I can't bring myself to pour coconut oil into coffee. I just drink black coffee, but a lot of people seem to like it and they've tried it, and it's supposed to be 0 calorie, I think. And
No,
it
no,
says
it's
it's
full of
Yeah.
butter, Raj. How?
butter and coconut oil, right?
Yes.
And it says it tastes good, and it really keeps. He's a very intense chap. He does
Yeah.
all this Ironman challenge and all that,
It's
and
like
he says it keeps him going. I cannot bring myself to it. But can I address an important question here?
Yeah, please.
Somebody in the chat asked about thyroid, taking medications. I
yeah.
think it's absolutely important that you continue taking your medications during this fasting, things like thyroid medications. If it is a kind of medicine that you're worried might cause gastritis, take it at the time you eat, like during the puasa period here, when people fast during the day, we tell them to take their medicines whenever they are breaking their fast. I think something similar, if you're taking aspirin or something, which might irritate your stomach, you probably don't want to take it on an empty stomach. Whenever you break your fast, take it with your meal. But yeah, things like thyroid medicines, you should take it. Doesn't matter, the hours can change, the timing can change by a couple of hours, but you should take it. Diabetes is a whole different story. So as Geeta said, people benefit greatly from intermittent fasting when they have diabetes. There's a very nice study, just on 3 people that almost practically reverse diabetes. People are able to come off insulin, but this should all be done under supervision. So if you're diabetic and you plan to go on intermittent fasting, speak to your doctor and go through the medications. They might do more intense monitoring of your blood sugar. They might cut down your medications a little bit and so on. So it is of benefit, but you have to be very careful, especially if you're taking gliclazide, it's also called diamicron, and insulin. These are the two medicines that make you most prone to hypoglycemia. Metformin and other medicines don't cause hypoglycemia so much, but these two tablets, if you're taking this and you're planning to go on intermittent fasting, speak to your doctor first. I think it's very important.
I think that's very common what you're saying and what Geeta is saying, that if you have any kind of medical condition, be it diabetes,
You
be
must,
it,
for
you
this
have
fasting, you should always consult your, for anybody and everybody, I would say just consult your own medical practitioner and let him guide or let her guide with you. So another thing, why you start looking younger after this fasting. See, now every day there are so many factors which give these free radicals to the body. It can be the ultraviolet rays of the sun. It can be your work. It can be your, you're exposed to so many other things. In fact, all the body which goes on doing its work, it produces free radicals. So when you're fasting, these free radicals are lessened, and the antioxidants work. They start working better. So you will always feel that after fasting a few days, you will start feeling, you look better. You start feeling that, no, my skin is better or my hair is better. It's only because of this that during the fasting hours, the free radicals, they diminish further and the antioxidants are still better.
Okay. There are few questions which are very common, and the first and foremost is, can you just give a basic meal plan when you're eating those 8 hours? What kind of food and what all? Amount of protein, amount of carbs, amount of fats?
It should be as per the requirement of the body, how you eat normally. Like, we can go for 0.8 or 1 according to your body type for per gram body weight. For the carbs, you should go as the normal way. One other thing, you should not diet when you have this open 8-hour window. You should not diet during those times, thinking that, no, okay, because I'm on a weight loss diet, so I must lose weight. So in these 8 hours, I'm going to not eat anything and not give body anything else. That's wrong.
So when you eat well, those 8 hours, how many calories is advisable? Archana has that question.
Again, it depends body to body, but something like 1500 calories is okay. But we can again go person to person, the requirement, because don't worry, in those 16 hours, you are going to lose weight. Yeah. If you are going to eat less in these 8 hours, then your body is going to get less antioxidants, less minerals, less nutrition. We don't want that. We want you to eat proper meals in those 8-hour window, because you're already doing a big work to your body by not giving it food for 16 hours.
Okay, great. The other one was, no, so fried sugar, everything is okay in those 16 hours?
No, I'm not talking about fried. Sugar, see, the body requires sugar 2 to 3 teaspoons in a day.
Yes.
You should stick to only that. Does not mean that you can feast.
Yeah, so 8 hours doesn't mean go binge because you're fasting for 6 hours.
You cannot do that, because somebody's just written that they have put on 6 kilos back. I don't think so. It happens if you have done it normally.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not, you have to still maintain what you're eating. It does not mean this, but yes, you get a lot of benefits when you're fasting.
That when we fast, we tend to get a headache,
Yes, I know this. It's you can feel dizzy, you have a headache, but if you are normal and if you have no other medical conditions, then believe me, they go away within 2 days. Okay. Within 2 days, yes, for 2 days, you'll have to bear it a bit. That's why I told you that do it under the guidance, so that this person can see what is your requirement. But these kind of feelings where you feel a headache is there, lightheaded is there, or dizziness is there, this goes away within a couple of days, because your body is not habituated at all.
Correct. There's another thing which says that, does it help in women issues like PCOD and endometriosis, fibroids?
See, now the studies goes on that it's repairing so many things. I'm not sure The trials are still on, but the way things are going on, it might, because as you know that these studies are not still enough.
Whatever the rest of the system, something good is definitely anyway coming out.
Yeah, for sure. When you are repairing your body by giving it a fast, then you are going to finally repair all your body. As I told you, the free radicals go away, the antioxidants are better working with you, and the cells which are weak and not good, they again are eaten by the body. So you repair yourself fully. So maybe the studies will soon come and tell you that, yeah, maybe.
2 to 3 spoons of sugar, which includes food sugar? No.
What do you mean by food sugar? Food sugar means
I guess
rice.
and yeah,
From rice. No. I'm just talking about. I'm not talking about complex carbs. That's a total different story. Complex carbs and the simple carbs. 2 to 3 teaspoons is more than enough when it comes to simple carbs, which can be sugar, which can be jaggery, which can be coconut sugar, which can be any such thing.
honey, could be any of that. Okay, great. Coming back to, somebody asked, can you suggest some kind of food plan? As in, what kind of food? Is it like no carbs, mixed carbs, less carbs?
Just normal food. We are not talking about low carb diet when we talk about intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Normal food. If you are eating 2 chapatis, if you are eating rice, dal, vegetables, macronutrients, micronutrients, both, just eat normal food. Don't here you don't do this, that I'm not going to eat this, so I'll be better. No, it's not going to be like that. Okay. 8 hours you can eat your normal food. Of course, as I told you, not fried and not very heavy calorie. In general, if you eat what you're eating for your lunch and dinner in 8 hours, if you eat that, that's absolutely okay.
So Geeta, if I were to ask you, people do 16 hours and then suddenly move on to 20 hours. Sadhguru eats 1 meal and a lot of other people also do 1 meal. What's the difference between 16, 20, OMAD?
The answer will be very controversial, because a person who can do 16 hours and he thinks that he can do 20 hours, as somebody just did it also. Yeah. And if they are fine with it, it is okay. But I wouldn't say that, okay, you're doing 16 hours, so you can do 20 hours also. Not that way. It's not like that. It's each to their own. Every body is different. Everybody's resistance is different. And the way they react to food is different. So there's no such rule. There is no such red book that, no, if you can do 16 hours, you can do 20 hours also. It's not like that.
Yeah. And would you recommend 1 meal a day, or would you say 8 hours of eating?
No, I think you should have 2 meals for 8 hours. You must not 1 meal, because that will not be sufficient.
Somebody just shared an experience and they said that morning tea is really bad, and apparently they got a bad acidic attack and decided to not have it.
Yeah, of course, as I told you.
Yes.
So Geeta, what is your view on fitness, on exercise when you are on intermittent fasting? Because I was speaking to a physical trainer, a friend of mine, Ishita, and she mentioned that, it's not, some people think intermittent fasting is an easy thing. It's an easy fix. And then they feel that they don't have to work out and they can just lose weight. What is your viewpoint?
Well, what intermittent fasting does to your body is what when the exercise does. How the exercise is so effective. Same way intermittent fasting, but no, physical activity has its own role. So you must continue doing your normal activities, which can be a 30-40 minute walk, to continue with the fitness of the body. It's not like that you are going to be sitting sedentary. As it is, you have seen that people who have a sedentary lifestyle, like the couch potatoes, they only have all this dementia, Parkinson's, and all these mental diseases, other than having those physical problems like type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure or high lipids, whatever. So I will not say that, no, don't exercise. Please do your regular exercise. Yeah. And in any case, you are not going to do intermittent fasting forever. It is going to be for a while. What people are doing is only for a while. Maybe some people continue for a month, some people a little less, some people a little more. Depends upon how much weight loss they want. What I have seen is that people do it only for weight loss. And what we are talking today is whatever we get other than the weight loss. We are talking about weight loss. I know people generally do it for and they do it blindly, and then they are happy also. But during those 8 hours, you should live a normal life. You should be active. I would never suggest to sit down and just be sedentary. That won't be correct.
There's a very big dichotomy about health and weight, because a lot of people are struggling to reach a certain number of weight.
Actually, people count their fitness by weight.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to reach an X weight, but not that this intermittent is also rejuvenating the system.
If
so
you are not eating well, then believe me, your body is going to have scarcity of all the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. If you are not eating well in those 8 hours, you should eat good balanced diet. Then only your body will be, then you will help it. Otherwise, the person is going to look absolutely sick. So what is the big deal in losing those 10 kilos and looking absolutely sick and not in a healthy, not in good health also.
Thank you, Geeta. This was wonderful. We've been getting a lot of questions and so much information all about, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of more questions coming up. So if anybody has any questions, please send me an email. You already have my email in the registration confirmation, and we can then answer your questions some more on Facebook. This is also being streamed live on Facebook. You can put your questions there and Geeta can answer for you. And Geeta is available to all of us here in Jakarta. If you'd like a personal consultation, you can always reach out to Geeta.
Well, the way the studies are going on, it looks that this is going to be one of the future health things, that maybe someday the doctor writes that fasting is very important because it actually heals so many things. Anyway, with time we'll come to know more about it, but I think it's quite a positive thing.
Thank you so much.
Hello, मैं कुछ पूछ सकती हूँ?
अंशी जरूर बताइए.
Yes, Rashmi, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
मैं रश्मि बोल रही हूँ मैम, रश्मि नथानी.
Hi, Rashmi.
हाँ, मैं पूछ रही थी कि मैं जब कुछ खाती हूँ ना तो मेरा एकदम पेट एकदम भारी भारी जैसे हो जाता है.
मैं आपको कितना सारा डाइट दिया है आपको मैं अलग से बात करती हूँ. She is my patient. मैं आपको अभी बताती हूँ. अभी आपको मैसेज करती हूँ.
I want to just tell everybody that each to own, that's important. Secondly, if you have any kind of medical condition, please definitely do this under guidance, under a medical supervision.
Yes, I prefer that, because we don't know. We don't know if, everybody thinks that he can do fasting and, he can get away with it. But
you may not have a condition, but this may trigger a condition. So it's definitely advised that you do these things under some medical,
Yeah, somebody should be aware, some person who's taking care of your health. It can be a doctor, it can be a nutritionist who can take care of your health and who knows about your body. Like there are people who have got low blood pressure. So when you have low blood pressure, what I do is I give them a salt and sugar combination of water. What happens in these 16 hours? So then I must know that, okay, this is the condition, now you can do it. No doubt it is coming up really well, and the kind of popularity it has taken up, it's worth it. Because, people have started, we just now had 2-3 people who said that, they feel wonderful after it. Nobody feels that I'll die. Nobody dies. It is the food industry which is giving you so much of food that you cannot think of anything else except this breakfast cereal, that breakfast cereal, this fruit juice, that fruit juice. I wish we can be like our old ancestors, who can hunt for food, eat food, and then stay without food for a few hours. That would be so healthy. As Sadhguru also said.
Sushila has a question. Sushila, yes, Sushila, tell us.
Yeah, I am Sushila from Bombay and recommended this session from Madhuji Muchal from Indore. So thank you so much, everyone. It's a superb session. Would like to know, what do you mean by 8 hours eating and 16 hours fasting? 16 hours fasting, I understood that not to be eaten anything, but 8 hours, how to lunch, dinner or breakfast or what? Like little bit if you...
You can suit yourself. There are many people who prefer that in those 16 hours, they have the night sleep also. So, at least that 7-8 hours go away. So generally, you can have you can suit yourself. You can stop. Okay. You can have your dinner at 8 o'clock, and after that start fasting.
Okay. Sounds great.
And then you can again start eating after 12. So 12 to eat. You can have at 12. You can have first. You break your fast with something small and sweet, maybe a fruit or maybe a couple of dates or maybe some banana. Don't break your fast with tea, please, because the body is already acidic. Okay, so now if you have any such thing, then it will go, the acidity will increase. And 8 o'clock, you can finish your dinner and then start fasting.
Okay.
Last question, Geeta. Aparna has a question.
Thank you so much, Geeta ji.
You can ask me more questions. I'm fine with it.
Aparna has a question, and probably go to the last question, or probably another 3 questions. That drinking all the time from copper bottle, is it all right when you're fasting?
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. We have
No,
3 more.
not fasting. My question was not fasting. I said, do you lose weight? Because since 2 months, I've been having water from the copper bottle, and I have lost without any efforts 2.5 kilos.
That's great. That's a finding for me, but
Yeah, so I thought,
nice,
let me
it's
just
nice.
put in this question.
Nice.
I know it's a little out of topic.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. Drinking with the copper bottle has always been in fashion from 100 years. So it's a good idea.
I have a question.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure.
Yeah. Hi. I go for my exercise at 9:30 morning, and I go to the gym for 1 hour, and I do cross trainer for 25 minutes, then the weight and everything. So, and my 16 hours of fasting, that means that fasting period will be in that, coming under that period. So, should I go for my exercise that time or not?
Now this is all up to you. This is a personalized thing. If you feel that during fasting you want to exercise, it's fine. Or during the feasting time, if you want to exercise, again you can suit yourself. Every person has a different body. Every person is
There's a myth
different.
around this also, that if you're fasting and you exercise, it burns your fat faster. Is it correct?
No, see, as I told you that the next few hours, the body is dependent on the glucose in the blood and in the liver. After that, the fat starts burning. As I told you that intermittent fasting is like exercising. 20 minutes if you exercise, then your the blood glucose goes away and then it attacks your other things. Same way is this.
Okay.
So if you are saying that I'm going to do exercise for 30-40 minutes every day or 1 hour every day and I'll get slim immediately, then do the fasting is also a good idea. Why don't you do the fasting and then along with it exercise, so have more benefits?
No, I have done that one 2.5 months. I was 71 kilos, then I gone down to 57 kilo.
Wow.
So I have done that, but I
Very
didn't do this intermittent fasting actually, but I did diet, very crash diet as well as exercise.
Also help you, with healing your internal.
Hi, everybody. I have a question. May I ask?
Yes, sure.
Sure. Okay, so Geeta, my question is that I read a study that said that for women over 50 years of age, they reach a plateau very soon with a 16-8 formula of fasting, and they need to actually do the 20-hour fasting with a 4-hour eating window.
No.
That's not correct.
It's not like that. It's not like that.
Okay.
The 16-8 will give you absolutely great benefits.
Okay.
And the 20 will give you better benefit. No, it's not like that.
No, we don't plateau. You don't reach a plateau.
No. There is no such thing. It is all, no, I don't think so. It's not like that. See, the fasting is there 5-2 also. That means 5 days a week.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Even that is very effective. Because see, the body is switching metabolism. Once the body is living on glucose, which you are getting by food, the second time the body is living on the body fats. So when you switch metabolisms, your systems already becomes young and nice, and the metabolism in your body goes very well.
Okay, hi. Can I ask a question, Geeta?
Yeah, I'm fine with questions. Please carry on if Poonam is fine.
We are over our 1 hour, but we have time for 3 questions, and after that we will call it a day.
Okay. Hi, Geeta. Yeah. I read somewhere, I seen a video actually of Luke, and he's like saying that intermittent fasting does not work very well if you don't doing the circadian rhythms, like you have to eat at the same time, you have to break the fast at the same time. Is it true?
Oh, see, when the body gets a timetable that it must sleep at 10 or it must sleep at 11, then it's a very good idea whether you are doing intermittent fasting or not. It's fine. Yeah. Having timetable in the body is very important. And yes, when you start this, you should decide that, okay, at this time I'll break my fast every day, maybe 8 in the morning or 10 in the morning or 12 in the morning. So you must have that timetable. And having this kind of timetable is very, very effective in body, whether you are doing intermittent or not doing intermittent.
But suppose
some kind of see, if you were sent to school every day in a different timing, how will it go? You must take a bath at 8 o'clock. You must be in school at 9. If I tell you, no, today you go at 10 and 12, and then it's your nap time. Yeah. The body definitely needs a good kind of timetable, and sticking to the time is very effective in any case. Whether you are fasting or not. Sticking to time is very.
No, that I understand. But supposing, there are times when you can't have dinner at one particular time. So if it
During
happens like
intermittent
this,
fasting, no. You can maybe half an hour or 1 hour you can go here and there, but
okay,
you cannot
yeah,
do for hours. It won't be effective then.
okay.
You might,
So that,
suppose if you are delaying your dinner, then you might go into hypoglycemia. Then your body sugars are low and then you overeat. Don't do that. See, eating is a very important part. How, as they say spiritually, that this is a temple where your own God resides in your body. So give it a timetable, give it a beauty of timings so that the person residing inside is also comfortable and happy. You just cannot do this, that today I had dinner at 8, tomorrow I'll have it at 10. You cannot do that.
okay.
The body should have some timetable.
Got it. Thank you.
So, Jyoti, if we don't have any further questions, do you have a question?
Yeah. Hi, Geeta. I wanted to know 16 hours fasting. Hi.
Yeah.
16 hours fasting for people with diabetes. Is it okay with water and all? Or
see, that's why that's how where I come in the picture.
Yes.
You must ask, because you should know. I should know what are your blood sugars, when they go up, when they go down. If you go on your own as a diabetic, I think you will make a mistake. Because you don't know when your blood is going high, sugar is going low, is going high. See, yes, Luke talks about circadian rhythm. That circadian rhythm is same, having a timetable. If I want to eat my dinner at 8 o'clock, you can go 30-40 minutes here and there. Preferably don't do that, because see, body is the only place which respects you. If it doesn't do well, then in any case you're not going to do well whatever you do in your life. So let's give some importance to our body, and then everything will go well.
That's good. I think we need to reinstate.
Thank you.
Any medical condition, please consult a nutritionist, a doctor.
Please, or a doctor. They must know. That's very important. I would suggest, without asking, don't do. But yes, this is a new thing. It is still, we are still seeping into it. And I think it's a good thing.
Correct.
The kind of studies we have, it's fine enough, fair enough. You can start looking younger, you can be more intelligent, what else you want.
Yes. Great. Thank you so much, Geeta. Once again, a great topic, and thank you for all your insight, and Dr. Rajnikant as well. And for all the viewers for sharing their experiences. Again, each to own. Do things which work for you. If what works for somebody else may not work for you. So
yes,
please
definitely.
consult.
Otherwise, everybody can Google a diet. Why do people come for diet? Everybody can Google a diet.
Correct. So you definitely need to consult an expert, and they can tailor-make a program for individuals, which will definitely work. What happens with a lot of us is we try different things from Google. When it doesn't work, we get frustrated. And that's where we feel that it's important to consult an expert. They'll tailor-make a program for you, and that will work. Thank you. Poonam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you all for being on this.
Thank you, Dr. Raj. Thank you, Geeta. Thank you, Poonam.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Raj.
Thanks, Pavani. Thanks, Rajnikant. Thank you for being on the call.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Nice to see you.
Poonam, Jyoti.
Dr. Raj.
Bye. Lovely to see you all again. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you, Poonam.